What's up, y'all? So yeah, I'm gonna try to come up here as much as the spirit pours into me. As it pours into me, I plan to pour it back, give it back to the planet. Um, it's a spiritual food that we all need to be eating at this time and for the rest of your existence. Like, for real, like, you know what I'm saying? There's um, there's a need on the planet right now for some serious food, some serious watering. Because, as I talk to my homegirl, who I've known for a very long time, you know what I'm saying? Her and I can really can really sit and agree and can really vibe with the fact that we are literally paying attention and watching so many adults be so lost at this time. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter how much conscious information um, is put in front of your faces. For whatever reason, it just seems like people are not interested. They're not sold by the quote unquote spirituality. I don't know what it is. I really don't. I don't know what it is, but you know, I think as adults, I think as parents, I think as friends, I think as loved ones, um, I think it's really a shame that more adults are not coming into a realization by now at this point. You know what I mean? It's like, what we keep seeing on social media is senseless posts, senseless everyday posts that do absolutely nothing except feed your ego. You know what I mean? We have so many people that are living on the outside shell of themselves. Like, you guys have to really, really understand that the body is not you. You know what I mean? You cannot work on the outside of yourself and leave the inside all the way fucked up. You know what I mean? It's like that's like always making sure that the outside of your car, it's always clean. But are you ever putting oil on the inside of your joint? Like, are you ever keeping up with the fluids that are inside of your car? Or you just want people to always pay attention to how shiny, the outside of your shit is? You know what I'm saying? Like, the shit is corny, man. Like, it's corny at this point. It's corny at this point, man. We really need to get to a point and get to a stage where we are investing in ourselves. You know what I mean? And that is by going inward. Now, don't get me wrong. You know what I mean? If you go to the gym, like my homegirl does every day, you know what I'm saying? That shit is dope. But she's working on her inner and her outer. You know what I mean? And that's what it's all about. You can't just work on your outer, and you can't just work on your inner. Like, everything is in sync. You know what I mean? Everything is in sync and needs to become in balance. Okay, and your brain is one of them. To watch the the degeneration of a people right now, it's really heartbreaking to watch. And it's even more heartbreaking to watch the fact that people have no idea that it's them, who is degenerated. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm gonna have to come on here and talk about the things that people just want to avoid. Those conversations that people just are afraid to have. I'm gonna have them. You know what I'm saying? Because somebody has to do it. Somebody has to talk about, discourse and harmony and where we are in that, and why things just keep going on the way that they've been. You know what I mean? And it's not because I think that I'm any better, because I'm not. I'm no different. I'm no different than you. The only difference is that, I fully invested in myself, in my healing, in my children's healing, and reversing ancestral trauma, drama, and karma. You know what I mean? That's the only difference, is that I didn't stop. I did not stop working to get to my highest self. You know what I mean? And I'm glad that I didn't. I had everything going against me. You know what I mean? I had everything going against me. But that's the key. It's like you have to go through darkness. You have to go through the dark to get to the light. And that's the reality of it. Okay? So, all you people out there that, that think you're living the high life and all that, and you're just going to sit there and watch other people do all the hard work while you just sit pretty. Nah, yo. I mean, you could do that. But just don't expect, the gifts that come along with the hard work that other people are doing, and actually making it a lot easier, for you guys, because I just watched the disappreciation, and it's unbelievable to me. You know what I mean? People are out here risking their lives to get you guys truth. You know what I mean? And it's always the people that are telling the truth are the ones that are being attacked, or the ones that are being called crazy, or whatever the case may be. But you know what? That's the end of my rant. Okay? Let's get to the knowledge and the wisdom, right? Okay. So the time that we are in, we all know we're in 2021, 2012. Okay. So the Judgment Day thing, right? So we need to understand that that's not the end of the world, as the biblical scriptures try to scare us with. It's just the end of the world as we know it. Okay. Like, so it's the end of the way that the powers that be, it's the end of their reign over humanity's consciousness. Okay. So when that shift is taking place, instead of you being an outward being, okay, this holographic, prison of a body that you are in, doing everything outwardly, instead of you doing that, okay, now it's time to go inward. Okay. So when you go inward, you end up transmutating into the new world. Okay? Because that's where they get the parallel universes from. Okay? Because what happens is, when you are asleep, okay, you are only seeing to a certain degree. Okay? You are limited. Okay? When you are asleep, your senses and all of that are limited. Okay? So when you are projecting outwardly, okay, you are seeing things exactly how they're given to you. Okay? You are believing everything that the Matrix is spitting out to you. Okay? It's almost like damn near you become a puppet out here, because you are very easily manipulated, because you don't think that there is more to your life than what you've been doing. Okay? So when you go inward, you implode, and you literally flip inside out. That's what the polar flip is. Okay? That's what the polar flip is all about. It is about you going from an outer being to an inner being. Inner light being. Okay? That's what it's all about. So you are supposed to be flipping inside out right now. Okay? It's as above, so below. The only way you will attain that is going inward. Okay? It's imperative right now that we get women conscious. Okay? It's very important for this time. It's very important for cosmic memory. It is very, very, very important, because the females hold the cosmic memory in their womb. It is in the RNA messenger genes, okay? Which is exactly why they want to change it. The reason why I'm repetitive a lot of the time is because we have to get this stuff plugged into your subconscious, okay? The more you hear something, the more it will stick, okay? So we need to understand that at this time, okay, it's very, very, very important that women, okay, are disciplining themselves, fasting, celibacy, alone time, okay, connecting with nature, clearing trauma, drama, and all that, okay? It's very, very, very important because the female, okay, is the heart, are the upper three chakras, okay? To shut down the female and her love aspect and her intuition aspect, okay? And her psychic ability aspect and her motherly aspect, her nurturing aspect. When you shut the female down, you shut everything down. They don't say happy wife, happy life for no reason, okay? Like the female, okay? The female is the magnetism on the planet. You need the female aspect right now in the age of Aquarius, okay? It's very detrimental, okay? They shut down the heart, they shut down the female. They have all this down to, like, y'all know, I always say, they have it down to a science, okay? And when you watch a Disney flick, right? You know, they always are killing the mother. They always are killing the mom or villainizing the female. Why do they keep doing that? Cinderella, the stepmom, is evil. They done shot Bambi's moms. You know what I'm saying? Mommy Dearest and shit. You know what I'm saying? They never have a positive influence, okay, with a female on damn near anything that our children are watching. That's not by accident. Because they don't want you connecting with that feminine energy. They don't want you connecting with love. They don't want you connecting with balance. They don't want you connecting with those things. They need you to always be in fear and discord all the time. They want you to worry about war, worry about a virus. Okay? But what lowers your immune system the most? Negative thoughts. Negative thoughts will lower your immune system faster than anything on this planet. The way that you think. If you are constantly in fear, if you are constantly thinking that you know, the world is against you and you have a victim-like mentality, then the universe will give you just that. You know? You are giving back what you think. You're giving back, you know, what you project. Okay? Yes, now they have endocrine disruptors and things like that now to manipulate, you know, how you think, which is very important that we understand why we are not thinking. You have to think of your mind being a separate entity from the brain. The mind is separate from the brain. The mind is all. The brain is the matrix. The brain is what keeps you thinking that all of what you're looking at with these two eyes are real. Okay? The brain is different. The brain ends up getting programmed through vaccines, through what you're watching on TV, okay? Through the food, through the water, through frequencies. We're in a frequency spiritual war. We're in a frequency Star Wars. That's what it is. That's what it is. Because if we can't see by now, okay, guys, like if we can't see by now that they don't even want you to breathe anymore, Okay? You know, why is everybody so just nonchalant about people being able to tell you that you can't breathe? Why are we so relaxed about that? Huh? Why haven't we seen any herbalists on the news telling you what you can do in order to create harmony within the body naturally? I'll wait. Why aren't these things happening? And why are we so quiet about it? Why are we so quiet about this, guys? Because this is the kind of shit that I start getting frustrated with, because I'm like, yo, like, they are trying to take you out. I mean, this is crystal clear at this point, and everybody is so caught up in everything else, in money, and in everything else. The money is not going to matter when you tip over, dead somewhere in Walmart or something. Who's gonna give you CPR? Ain't nobody doing no mouth to mouth with you. They're not gonna do it, because they're gonna be following that 6 foot thing. You know what I'm saying? Who is going to resuscitate you? Huh? We need to understand, okay, that the body is like a computer. Okay, so some people are clearly being upgraded. Their processing, like the processor, if you would have a computer, the internalness, the motherboard. Why do they call it the motherboard inside of the computer? Come on, see? Why do they call it the motherboard? I mean, come on. Once the motherboard is fried on the inside of a computer, the shit is done. It's the same thing on this planet. Okay, it's the same thing. Your body is a computer. Okay, the brain is a computer. Okay, you are nothing more than a pixel right now. Like you're like a pixel on a large screen computer. Like, you're literally watching a screenplay with people around you. Like you're locked into a dream. But everybody is their own individual computer who is like on autopilot or some shit. Okay? So right now, there's downloads that are happening to people's processors, okay, to people's motherboards. So some people are becoming a lot more knowledgeable. Some people are becoming a lot more conscious, okay, due to they have sped up in processing, just like a computer. So if you're one of the people out there that are having a hard time with, grasping what is going on, then you need to question the speed in your processor. Where's your speed at? You know what I'm saying? Like, is your mind on flip phone status? Is your like, how fast are you able to, get a thought out? Or, how fast are you able to compute and comprehend what is really going on? Because that's not an insult. That's really something that we need to sit down and really understand and understand and overstand. If, most people can't sit through a 15-minute, deep, knowledgeable lecture. Okay? If you're one of those people, then you need to start grasping the concept that you might have a very slow processor. Okay? You might be one of those people who only are looking for the quick fix. You don't want to dive in. You don't want to take the time to put into your own self, salvation. It's an inward journey that you have to go through on your own. There are people here, there are people placed here to help you, but you have to help yourself. You know, the ancients, man, you know, the ancients' tradition of Judgment Day is where after death, the heart of the initiate is weighed against the feather of cosmic truth. That really happens. That really happens. If you have been initiated into the higher realms of consciousness, you will start interfacing with other invisible beings. It's not a belief. It happens. So if your heart has to be weighed upon death, and the way that death is supposed to happen, it's supposed to be death of your ignorance, death of the ego. You are supposed to be able to keep the body still. And you're supposed to, you know, the lower nature of you is supposed to die. It's supposed to be a battle between you and yourself, which represents Jesus and Satan. They are one and the same. Okay? It represents your highest self and your lower self. Okay? So you are supposed to be fighting with your own ego, your own attachments to materialistic things that don't matter. You have forgotten who you are. You are under a heavy dose of freaking amnesia. Okay? And you just forgot who you are. You are not the body. You know, you guys have gotten so attached to the body, and they did a good job the last paradigm, you know, with all the fake asses and fake titties and fucking fake everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, even men that, you know, now have started to, you know, like, they want body enhancements and shit like that. You know, like, that used to be a female thing. But now it's transitioned into men too. You are not the body. You are not the body. We have to get out of that. We have to, it's like, I know that we live in a world where we need material things. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the need of this constant validation through things and through people. Okay? You do not need things to validate the light inside of you. Your light and your heart is your validation. Your integrity is your validation. Not your whip. Not your crib. Not what kind of clothes you got. Not your Birkin. There are crystals that you could literally pick up off the ground that are worth more than anything that you ever gonna pull up in. The ancients was using crystal technology for harnessing energy. Way bigger and better things. They weren't thinking about no, you know, this is just ridiculous. They weren't thinking about what we're thinking about. We have to understand how far we have digressed, how far we have degenerated as a species. And something that's very important, DNA can change spontaneously, okay, which is what is happening right now. Okay, if you are not aligned, okay, and you have a certain genetic structure, and you are very not indigenous to this planet, you can spontaneous combust. I've talked about that before. Okay, spontaneous combustion, okay, is that the planet is heating up, which means you are heating up, which is the Kundalini energy, which is the divine feminine sexual energy, okay, that climbs up your spine like the caduceus, okay, climbs up your spine, okay, through your pituitary, your hypothalamus, and your pineal gland, through your crown chakra, okay. Some people, because they're not indigenous to this planet, they will literally catch on fire from the inside out, because the fiery hell that they were talking about is the Kundalini energy. When it raises up the spine, it is hot. But it's not a hot that it's not the hot that you're thinking about. Okay? It's the fire from within. It's the baptism in the lake of fire, because the pineal gland, okay, on the inside of you is surrounded, when awakened, it's surrounded by water, which causes certain vibrations, which causes time travel, which causes parallel universes, which causes all the dope ass shit to manifest itself. Which is why in the movie Contact, Jodie Foster was spinning around in that thing on top of water, because that's what happens in the brain. Even in the brain, some babies come out with hydrocephalus, which is swelling of the brain through what? Water. The pineal inside of the brain floats on water. So if you're wearing a mask, explain to me how you are supposed to achieve what you are supposed to achieve. What did Chris Brown and that other girl sing in that song? I'm supposed to breathe with no air. No, it ain't fair. No air, no air. Yeah. Yeah. So, I can't sing. That's the point. The point is, okay, the point is that we have to understand what the hell is going on here so we can do better, because, at the rate that we're going, it's not looking good for a lot of people. We're supposed to be in a golden age right now, and they have made you believe that this is supposed to be some type of doom and gloom. Because you are disconnected from reality, you're disconnected from yourself. You are waiting for some, godlike figure to appear in a cloud somewhere, which means you have no faith in yourself. You have no faith in your own Godhead. You have no faith in yourself. You think you do, but you don't. Not if you're waiting for somebody else to come and save you. That's very contradictory. Okay? The ancients taught the importance of making sure that their thoughts were in the highest alignment with their highest self as much as possible. Okay? Because they knew that if they could successfully go through this process where the heart is weighed against the feather of cosmic truth, that then they could continue on their spiritual evolution. Okay? If their heart weighed more than a feather, then they reincarnate into a baby again. Did y'all hear that? Imagine coming back here as a baby. Imagine ending up in a tummy right now of a new mom, and that mom is wearing a mask. So you're already going to come out slow because of lack of oxygen. See? This is dangerous. Y'all need to wake up. Imagine coming back right now as a baby. Your memory will be completely wiped. You won't remember anything that you did because you were not conscious at the time of death. You did not assassinate the ego while you were here, which is what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be drawing yourself further and further away from the illusion, not pulling yourself more and more and more into it. Everything that the powers to be tell you to do, you need to be doing the opposite. Okay? Their fundamental principle was that our lives are spent on a cycle of evolution, a spiral of evolution. Okay? They were constantly moving up on that spiral. That spiral is synonymous with DNA. Okay? Every breath that we take, every moment of our lives could and should be focused on our soul's highest development, the ascension of our souls. Okay? Yeah. It says that the pyramids were a resurrection machine, okay, because of the way that the pyramids ping off of the star system. Okay, it was free energy. We've had free energies since since the ancients. We had free energy since the ancients. So why are we paying for lights again? But you have to turn on your inner light. Your inner light is becoming the Christ, is becoming the awakened one, the messianic Christ, male and female. Okay. Let's see. I'll try to wrap this up because I know that sometimes our attention spans, we have to grow into being able to sit and learn things again, y'all. We have to deprogram. Okay, you got to get the battery out of your back. Okay, you have to love yourself enough to want to transmutate into something better. Something better is out there and is waiting for you, and it's called your soul. Once someone ascends, okay, what happens is the body, in essence, will turn into a prism, okay? Because right now, what you're in is a prison, okay, which is locked into the human body, okay? But when you become the Christ, okay, your body becomes, a prism, and now light literally is shining through you and pouring out of you, and what it looks like is a rainbow. Okay, it looks like a rainbow. So it's no secret why the rainbow flag is represented by a certain intention. Okay, because the rainbow really means it means liberation. It means freedom. It means that you are free. Because what you are is really light. So you are supposed to be projecting light, shining light onto this place. You are supposed to be reflecting rainbow light. Okay? The array of light. Okay? We talked about, that the ancients were totally into hopping in and out of stargates. Okay? I don't know if this has happened to anyone, but you know how, like, sometimes you could just be standing still, or you might bend down and hold your head up real quick, and you'll see these, like, light flickers, like mad light flickers. That's actually a stargate. That's actually a stargate. That's actually a form of time travel. Okay? Which is why there were so many Mandela effects, and why people, end up in different realities. Like, you go through stargates all the time. You know what I'm saying? There are some stargates that you go through that are over bridges, that are in the train stations. When you're driving on dirt roads, sometimes you are literally like driving through stargates. You can walk through a stargate and not even know it. So, the ancients knew to have their vibration, at a high enough frequency so they can jump in and out of realities through the future, or back in the past, or sideways. You can go to the future, to the past, or sideways. Okay? So, yeah, I'm going to end it at, again, the human species is going through an evolutionary massive awakening, okay? Which again is supposed to be a beautiful golden time. Okay? It's supposed to be a beautiful golden time. It's not supposed to be like this. Okay? This is supposed to be a planetary an interplanetary, meaning you have to go in, an interplanetary alignment, not an outer planetary alignment. This is an interplanetary alignment. Okay? It is supposed to be when the sun returns. The sun is the outside sun returning to the age of Aquarius. The sun is returning for the enlightenment aspect of the new world. Okay? In one generation, DNA can change. In one generation. So from my mom to me, just because I came out of her womb does not mean, okay, that I cannot transmutate into a whole nother species of being. That's a scientific fact. You have the ability to change your DNA from your parents' DNA. In one generation, this is possible. Look into it. Look into it. Look into the biological extremes of being able to manifest and change your DNA. By me changing my DNA, by going inward, it automatically changes the DNA of my children. Because my children came out of my womb. So you could literally do a DNA test on one generation to the next, and DNA can show that those are not even your kids, but they are your kids. But things mutate, and when things mutate, they're supposed to mutate to be spiraling upward, for evolutionary purposes. We're not supposed to stay like this. We're supposed to, be able to do more things with the body. We're supposed to, we're supposed to be so further ahead than what we are. That's what the sun is here to do. The sun returning is here to change your coding, to change your programming so we can evolve. That's the whole point. So yes, you have some people that are born into the family, okay, to help usher in this new uncomfortable transition. So if I've become enlightened, okay, if I have now become enlightened, if I have now become the Christ, just like you're supposed to become, but my mom has not, then my DNA will no longer match my mom's. My DNA will no longer match my dad's. I would now be considered my own entity. I would now be considered a creator of my own world. Don't that sound dope? Don't you want to be the creator of your own world? Don't you want to have control over your own mind and not have somebody tell you what to think and how to love yourself? Don't you want to be your own savior? When you become the Christ, you are now self-made. Okay? Your DNA will no longer be considered human. You will no longer be considered human. You will now be considered alien. You will now be considered a ET. Why do you think they want to study the DNA from your nose swabs? They're trying to see what capabilities come along with the gift. It's called the promise. Okay? I mean, all this stuff is even on the dollar bill. You know, it's on the dollar bill, you know, with the capstone and all of that. You know, it's on there. It's on there. So yeah, I mean, we just want to, you know, understand, you know, that it's in your best interest, you know what I'm saying, to wake up, to lay the ego down, to start healing. You know, you guys have got to submit to yourselves. You know what I'm saying? You have got to kill this idea that you know everything, because I sure as hell don't. I take notes, y'all. I'm learning too. You know what I'm saying? I'm learning too. But as I learn, it's only right for me to share the knowledge. It's not right for me to, you know, to keep this to myself. You know? We have to learn that we are not here to constantly think that we're here to feed the flesh. That's not it. That's not it. You guys have got to have some type of action plan, man, because, you know, 401ks and fucking health insurance and dental insurance, yeah, all that is great, but what is your fucking exit strategy when it's time for you to exit this place? Because there's a science to that. There's a science to exiting this place, and it has to do with your heart being as light as a feather. So is your heart as light as a feather? Are you conscious of self? Do you love yourself? Are you waiting for a savior? Are you codependent? Are you selfish instead of being selfless? Are you mean? Are you always in a negative, fearful headspace? Are you always hating on somebody else's, you know, shine? Are you even supporting people that are trying to not do anything more than to just help you out? What are you doing in your community? People are born onto this planet that keep getting, you know, taken out for trying to help. And then the people that are not trying to do anything as far as helping their community or their loved ones, those are the ones who, you know, prosper. Those are the ones who prosper. If you are living a monetary lifestyle, then you get the most, you know, you get the most attention. If you are living the Christ lifestyle, the real Christ lifestyle, you are overlooked and deemed crazy. That's the way this planet works. And if you are female, then you are just, you know, treated like a damn piece of meat or overly sexualized and never taught your real power. That's bullshit, man. Like, I'm definitely going to be a voice of change for that. You know what I'm saying? Women and men, okay, need to know how powerful they both are harmoniously. Okay? Women do not need to feel like they're the tail of anything. When she's the one that gives birth to both sexes. We have got to change our mindsets, man. We have got to grow up. We have got to change our mindsets, and we have got to really get it together, y'all, because it's you know, it's looking really, just taking a census of your social medias. That's how they can tell how sleepy you are. That's how they can easily do a damn sneak attack, because they see how sleepy you are. They see that you have no idea what is going on, because you are too afraid to question the status quo. Okay, being nice all the time, that is not a good thing. Being mean all the time is not a good thing. You got to find the balance in between the two. If you are nice all the time, then that's a form of karma also. You can't be nice all the time. You have to question things. If you are in religion and something don't sound right to you and you don't question it, then that's a form of fear. That's a form of fear. You are supposed to question everything. You don't just go along with something. You know what I'm saying? You don't just go along with something because thy father said it. Nah, man. No, you have to question everything, yo. You have to question everything. And until you start doing that, then you'll be stuck. That boss, that one boss of yours that we all have, that one boss who swears that you won't curse their ass out because you need that job, it's time for them to get cursed the fuck out. Yes, you could be a god or a goddess or Christ and still curse somebody out. You could be a god or a goddess, and a god or a goddess will still slap the shit out of you if you get out of line. But we don't live that way first. Okay? Come on. Even the God in the Bible was killing people. So what does that tell you? Don't get the Christhood confused. You'll still get slapped. You know what I'm saying? We have to know this. We have to know this. Just because you have become enlightened and spiritual does not mean, okay, that you ain't about that life. You know what I'm saying? That one co-worker, yo, who swear they your boss, it's time for them to get cursed out. Well, they don't got to be cursed out, but you know what I mean. It's time for them to be checked. Okay? Because it could be a situation where you're going to keep being put in those situations until you face, okay, certain people and certain things that need facing. Okay? So whether it be your pastor, your parents in a respectful way, your children, your mate, your whoever, you have to stand up for yourself. Okay? You have to ask the right questions. You have to become fearless. Okay? Because only the strong survive. You have to become fearless out here. And with that comes questioning the status quo. Because if you are not that way, you are bound to be manipulated. All right? You cannot be afraid to go against the so-called, the so-called powers that be. You become easy prey that way. All right, y'all? So, come on. Like, let's really start to see the goddamn illusion that's, in front of our faces. All right? Let's really start putting time and effort into ourselves. For yourself, for your ancestors, for your children, for crying out loud. Like, come on, for your children. Let's really do better, y'all, please, because we supposed to be really, like, shining right now. You know what I'm saying? So, let's shine, y'all. All right, y'all. Till next time.